Hello there, Brick Fanatics. I am looking for someone to share in an adventure. So choo choo, because it is time to board the speculation train. Next stop, the Shire. This rumour comes from Tandon Bricks on Instagram, who has a fairly accurate report history in the past, having broken the news first of things like Captain Rex returning in minifigure form and the coming of the Sanctum Sanctorum LEGO set. When asked when we will be getting Lord of the Rings 2025 news, Tandon Bricks replied, "A wizard is never late, he arrives precisely when he means to," and followed that up by saying that it will be a fire hit. Presumably the missing word in that sentence is Shire, and if that's the case, LEGO Lord of the Rings fans have a lot to be excited about, because I don't think that there are many locales from the Lord of the Rings and wider Middle-earth experience that people are wanting in a nice detailed 2025 LEGO form quite as much as the Shire or Bag End. We previously made a video about how the Lord of the Rings sets that we've had in the past couple of years, in particular Barad-dûr, have hinted that we might be getting Minas Tirith as the next big Lord of the Rings locale to be adapted in LEGO form. In particular, one of the giveaways for this was the Palantir orb that comes with the Barad-dûr set, which on one side of it shows Minas Tirith, but if you turn it around to the other side, oh look, there's the Shire on fire. There are two possibilities here then. Either we'll be getting the Shire instead of Minas Tirith, or both. We've had one LEGO Lord of the Rings set. You know the joke, we do it like every video. Why not a second LEGO Lord of the Rings set in 2025? Side note, just while I'm on the subject, I found out this week that apparently when they both flew over to Los Angeles for the first time, Billy Boyd and Orlando Bloom, it happened to be Billy Boyd's birthday. And so while they were on the plane, they celebrated his birthday with champagne and they had lots of fun. And then they got to LA, and because of the time difference, it was Billy Boyd's birthday again. So he had a second birthday, and that is the most Hobbit thing I can possibly think of, which is just wonderful. I mean, enough of those second birthdays, and you do get to 11th quite quickly, don't you? Anyway, one of the things that has been really annoying the LEGO Lord of the Rings community recently is the fact that we get one of these really big, nice LEGO sets every year, and that's wonderful and delicious, but please, sir, can we have some more? And people would absolutely adore having something that's not quite so big, something that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more accessible and a little bit more budget-friendly. I mean, in as much as any LEGO set is ever budget-friendly. And so the potential for a giant, big old Minas Tirith set and also a Shire/Bag End set that's a little bit smaller and apparently potentially on fire would be a wonderful different option for LEGO fans who maybe want to have something in between the little original sets that we had for the films that were kind of smaller and less detailed and the giant massive sets that we've been getting in the past couple of years. I mean, ideally we could have like a Harry Potter style theme that just spans loads of LEGO sets, but I get the sense that the Lord of the Rings brand is not quite as potent now as it was in, say, 2005, and so we've got to take what we can get, right? This is assuming, though, that the Shire set is smaller, because there is absolutely scope for having multiple Hobbit holes and different locales within Hobbiton that therefore end up taking up a little bit more space and could potentially have a piece count as large as Barad-dûr or Rivendell. This approach, I think, would be unpopular with LEGO fans, because ideally, if you had a set that was maybe just Bag End, right, and you wanted a Shire that has a few more Hobbit holes, just buy more than one box of the set and therefore you've got what you need. You can do some rearranging yourself if you feel the need, but otherwise, like, it's not modular. Modular is the wrong word, but it is something that can be duplicated on the shelf and it feels appropriate. Whereas if we have one large set which contains a lot of different stuff from the Shire, it means that the kinds of LEGO fans who just want a little bit of Lord of the Rings, not like when Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit were actual themes, but they were aimed at a younger demographic and therefore the sets didn't have the same kind of detail as we get with the larger, more 18 plus sets that we have now. But it would just be nice for fans of all different budgetary options to be able to pick up something Lord of the Ringsy, and the way to make a kind of a step towards that would be hopefully to give us a relatively contained Bag End / Hobbiton / the Shire set that can then be expanded somehow. And this is where my general hope here for a Minas Tirith and a Hobbiton set come into play, because then you've got something for the people who want the really nice, cool, detailed things. Because make no mistake, Barad-dûr and Rivendell are both absolutely fantastic sets, just gorgeous, just brimming with so much cool stuff. And I would absolutely love an additional LEGO set of that kind of scale and that kind of level of detail and that kind of option for a huge number of additional molded elements that we get with those kinds of sets. And so another one of those, yes please, but also in addition to that, having something smaller that people are a little bit more able to pick up if they don't have all the money in the world, that's also great too. What we really need is a Lord of the Rings theme, right? We need a load of sets at a bunch of different budgetary options at a bunch of different sizes so that anybody can get in on this. But where that doesn't seem to be possible at the moment, it would be nice to have options in as much as we can have any options at all. And that would mean a larger, meatier, more detailed set, and then a slightly smaller, maybe no less detailed, but certainly less piece intensive set for people who really just want Bag End, because Bag End is probably, I would say, one of the most iconic locales from the Lord of the Rings films. And I'm specifically saying films here because I'm talking about the New Line Cinema interpretation of the J.R.R. Tolkien books rather than the actual source material itself. People want that house because that is the place, right? It is the one that makes you just feel like you're in an idyllic English-esque countryside and just enjoying the wonders of all of the things that the Hobbits have there, rather than anything when you step out of Hobbiton and the Shire, which in the Lord of the Rings world is just awful. And I think if you asked most people where they would want to live in a Lord of the Rings / Middle Earth world, maybe some people will say Rivendell, maybe some people might say some of the other places, but most people are going to tell you, like 90% of people are going to say, oh, I'd like to live in the Shire because it looks really cool. That said, all signs point to the Shire being aflame in this LEGO set. And that does raise another question. Is this going to be a horror scene? Is this going to be that moment in the film where everything's burning and children are weeping and the ring wraiths are running around just slashing people's heads off? Or is it going to hopefully have the option for things to not be on fire and to not be the everything is fine meme with the Lord of the Rings LEGO? I would appreciate a 2-in-1 set here, not unlike the Great Deku Tree, where you can either have the Shire on fire or you can have the Shire just normal, everybody's having a nice time. Like we would ideally have both if we're going to get an aflame Shire, because a lot of people are not necessarily going to want everybody to be sad in their LEGO set. And I wouldn't even necessarily mind all of the extra elements in the box that would require, because while with the Great Deku Tree, a lot of the spares, you look at them and you're just like, well, what am I going to do with all this stuff? With the Shire, just having a bunch of extra flame pieces, I feel like there's a lot of options to play with those. Plus, I always like a transparent element. They are my absolute favourites, and so having more transparent elements in the box that I'm not necessarily going to use in the scene, oh well, I'll just have a bunch of slightly see-through bricks that I can do something else with. I could put a bunch of fire pieces on something else. I could set fire to Ominous Isle, for example. I could set fire to the Zen Garden and make that just a horrible, horrible nightmare scene for anybody who's just hoping to enjoy a nice little bit of tea. Set fire to the bookshop? Maybe not. I mean, the other option, and I doubt that the LEGO group will go with this, but the other option would be to do Bilbo's birthday scene, because that would be really nice to have just like a full scene of different characters milling about, different kind of party things going on, and a lot of people drinking stuff. Yeah, I don't think the LEGO group's gonna go for that, and a lot of people smoking stuff. I don't think the LEGO group's gonna go for that, but that would be really nice. And alas, I think that would be too minifigure intense for even a large £400 LEGO set for the LEGO group to go for that. But that would be a way of fleshing out the Shire into something that is more than just Bag End and maybe a pub. It does have to be said, though, that with the LEGO Lord of the Rings sets that we've had in the past couple of years, and admittedly these are large sets, but they have been fairly generous with minifigures where you've got all of the characters that you could possibly think of, and then a couple extra as well, just additional elves or additional orcs to really round things out and make things feel like the premium experience that you would hope from a LEGO set of this price. If it is a Shire on fire scene, you would imagine a bunch of hobbits and then ring wraiths, complete with horses. But then I could also see them throwing in characters like Sam and Frodo and Gandalf, because you expect them to be in these situations and this location at some point, even if they're not necessarily there for the point where the burning starts. All of this being the case, I do feel like we need to come back yet again to that important disclaimer. This is a rumour. It is coming from some guy on Instagram. Admittedly, yes, some guy on Instagram has been right in the past, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee anything. And even if this rumour is correct at the time that it has been initially reported by Tandon Bricks, that doesn't necessarily mean that the LEGO Group is going to take that set all the way to manufacturing, because sometimes you get a Temple of Doom set that just disappears into the ether. At the same time, this is not the only prediction that Tandon Bricks has made, and while leaving aside a lot of the other things, you can go and check them out on brickfanatics.com if you want to see more of those. The only other thing that I feel really ties in with this Lord of the Rings set that is worth mentioning is that Tandon Bricks has said, yes, more Lord of the Rings in 2025, and also no more Zelda in the first half of 2025. And frankly, while that is disappointing, that would not surprise me at all, because I'm still of the opinion that if Nintendo doesn't absolutely definitely want to give us more Zelda, we won't get more Zelda. Like, I do not trust Nintendo as a company at all on this front. I fear for even just speaking the name, lest they come out with a content ID claim that they cannot possibly back up in this case. But they play by their own rules. And if we do not get another Zelda set until maybe the second half of 2025, and then it's another big set that can be adapted into multiple things like a Hyrule Castle or what have you, then I won't be surprised. If we don't even get that, and if the Deku Tree is it for Zelda, then I won't be surprised. I'm not saying that that is the case. I'm just saying that I am not committing overly to the hope and the wish of getting more of these sets, simply because the company that the LEGO Group is working with there really don't like to do things that you would expect. They don't do the logical next step. Sometimes they do just go, right, here's a little bit of something nice, now never again. But if you don't take anything else from this video, and bear in mind that what you do take from this video should be taken with a fairly sizable grain of salt, but if you take nothing else from this video, just take away the hope and the prospect of us getting some more LEGO Lord of the Rings in 2025, which I don't think is in and of itself too surprising, because these LEGO sets that we've had, Rivendell and Barad-dûr, in recent years have been very, very well received, with the exception of the fact that they are very large and difficult to afford. But it will hopefully continue in 2025, and we will hopefully be getting some nice sets. Or we get something completely different in 2025. We have absolutely no way of knowing. That is not for us to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the LEGO that is given us. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure that you do all of the YouTube things and give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe and the notification bell. Go down into the comments and let us know your thoughts on LEGO Lord of the Rings and what you are hoping to see in 2025. If you are going to be making a LEGO.com purchase in the near future, and genuinely, really big thank you to everybody who does this, you can use the QR code which is currently on screen or the affiliate link which is down in the description. It takes you straight to the LEGO website. We get a little bit of the percentage when you make that sale through our link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help to keep the lights on at Brick Fanatics and just keep us making content. Make sure that you do go to brickfanatics.com for more coverage of everything coming in LEGO in 2025, and make sure that you sign up to our newsletter so that you never miss anything LEGO related ever again. Thank you very, very much for watching, and have a lovely day.